Okay, it says we're live. So looks like not too many folks are in here. This is RC Industry Channel, and I just wanted to kind of get on here this morning and see what all was going on everywhere. Um, it's looks like it's going to be a little warmer day out here today. Yesterday was a bit cool, and we had some snow. I was going to work on the Lime Latida, but that just did not happen. Let's see here. I want to make sure that we are up and running. And it says that we have a live coming up, but I don't know if it's actually working or not. Yeah, there it is. Okay, well, Zach Campbell is in there. Well, hello, Zach Campbell. Oh, I better turn the volume down on that right there just a little. Okay. Well, we had lots going on. Better keep that up here where I can. Oh, there, over here, I can read the. Okay, so yeah, we had lots going on the last few weeks. It warmed up a little bit, and then it got cold again, and we got things. A little bit of work done to the LTD or the Lime Latida. So got I think yeah, we got the power steering pump changed out and got that system flushed out, and it's actually steering real nice and easy now, just like them old Fords always did. Well, I call an old Ford as a 70s Ford, but anyway, um, had a lot of those Mercury Marquis. I saw that Pole Barn Garage has got a LTD and a Mercury Marquis that he's going to do something with. I don't know. I haven't caught up with his stuff on his channel in the last few days, but it, those cars are cool. I like them. So I've had several of them. So when I first got out of the Air Force, I had a light blue um, Mercury Marquis, 78, I think it was. And me and my son were taking a trip down to Oklahoma to visit Mike. And he was a guy that I was in the military with and played music with in bands and stuff through the years. But we were headed down there, and I think, well, it was actually when we were coming back from being down there, but we were on I-44 on the turnpike, and Oklahoma Highway Patrol pulled us over for speeding. And if Oklahoma Highway Patrol don't fool around. So this guy, he comes up to the car and he says, "Do you know how fast you were going?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, I'm assuming it was over the speed limit, but I do not." And he said, and he told me, and he saw. At that time, I was working for the sheriff's department, so he said he saw my little badge on the license plate, and he said, "Where are you from?" And I told him, and he said, ain't that town that just got hit by the tornado last year?" And I said, "Yeah, it sure is." And he said, "What do you do there?" And I told him, and he said, "Well, you get this car and you get it out of here and don't drive over the speed limit or something." He was kind of giving me a riot act, And Eric, my son, was little, and he was sitting in the front seat real quiet. But yeah, the guy was serious. He wanted me out of Oklahoma. But he didn't give me a ticket, though, so that was kind of cool. Oh, okay. Well, I had to get my coffee going this morning. I didn't get up as early as I had planned, but it worked out about right. And I know this time of morning, probably a whole lot of people aren't, available to get on live. So I suppose people will probably watch this later, and that's good too. So anyway, yeah, last time I did a live in the morning, I think Buck from Buck Does It he popped on here, and because he works nights, I think. So, and I'm sure there are some people that work nights. Um, there's one guy that's fairly new on the YouTube channel for the No Name 500 he's down in Alabama. I can't think of his name, but I think he works nights. Anyway, I watch his videos. He's got some kind of a Crown Victorian LTD something or other that he's working on right now, but I can't think of his channel name, but it'll come to me. So, lots going on. Like I said, around here last weekend, the Almanac said it was a brew day, and usually I put the beer brewing stuff on this channel, but I've been trying to just put content that's related to vehicle stuff on here. So whether it be a road trip or working on a car, or I think I just uploaded the video this morning. I had to change the battery in my lawnmower. The old 425 would not start. I mean, that battery was only 5 years old. I mean, come on. I can't believe it lasted that long, actually. But anyway, so but you can slip over to RC Gardens and you can watch us brewing the beer that I'm going to take down to the No Name Nationals in September. We brewed that. It's a light beer with a little bit of saffron in it and some homegrown hops, which were probably Cascade hops. That's what they were originally, but after several generations, I think that stuff kind of changes. But anyway, so that'll be there. So you can always go do that and check that out. Again, that's on RC Gardens channel. What else have I got going on? Haven't been doing anything on the DuBois County Flips channel, but I do have a project coming up that I'm going to be doing. And if I get the permission from the homeowner, I'm actually going to film some of that and put that on there for all of your, working on your house kind of needs. So, so like I said, today is sunny out and it's supposed to get up to like 50. So I'm hoping to get out and work on the old LTD and see if we can get something done to that. So kind of hoping somebody might be up across the world somewhere that would see this, but so far nobody is in there. So I've got 0 watchers. That's pretty funny. Oh gosh. Well, so the Almanac is questions I get once in a while on the other channel, because I've been planting the garden and doing things by the Almanac, and that's something that Grandma and Grandpa always went by, and I've always had an Almanac and tried to plant and get a haircut or whatever by by using the Almanac, because they've got it all figured out with the stars and the moon and the rising and lowering of the sea levels and all that, which is controlled by the moon, and all that kind of stuff. So they've got that all figured out. So I've planted the garden this year so far, and today is a day for, I think, beets and I don't know, something else. Oh, spinach. Beets and spinach get planted today. So I'm glad that that it's going to warm up a little bit, because there was frost on the ground this morning out here. And but it doesn't seem to hurt that lettuce. I've got lettuce that's up, and it doesn't seem to hurt that any. So okay, so car stuff on the channel. Well, let's see. There's a lot going on with the car. As you know, I have got to figure out what that clickety clackety sound is. And there's been a lot of comments about the video I made where you can hear the lifter making a noise or something's going on there. So I've either got one of two things going on, and I really don't think it's the latter. I believe it's either going to be that we have a collapsed lifter, or we're not, or it's so sludged up in there that the lifter cannot compress and pump the oil up through the push rod. So I really don't think it's the cam lobe worn down on it because, I mean, yeah, it's only got 83,000 miles on the car, but the valve, it actually moves and opens and closes the valve, and it fires on that cylinder. So it's not missing. It's not like it's got a burnt valve or anything. So when I first aired that video about the clickety clack, Wild Rose Garage from up there in Canada, well, he immediately messaged me or commented and said, hey, you need to take a couple of quarts of diesel fuel and a couple of quarts of automatic transmission fluid and change that oil filter and fill that thing up with that and get it up to operating temperature for about 15 minutes and then flush all that out. And when he typed that all in, or when I read it, I'm like, well, yeah, that's what my grandpa always did to those old cars, especially those old Fords. It seems like, and I think it's because for warranty purposes, Ford always had you use their Autolite oil or whatever that was, Fomoco or some kind of stuff, and it was very paraffin based, much like the Quaker State, and it just clogs everything up. So, yeah. So I'm thinking, and it is pretty crummy up under that valve cover. If you guys have watched the video, you can see that. So I am going to do that. So we're going to drop the oil on that thing maybe today if the weather gets warm enough that I can get out there without coveralls on. And we're going to drop the oil on that thing and put some diesel fuel in it with some ATF and warm it up and then dump that out of there. And what I may do is pull that valve cover off and actually make sure the oil's hole up there on the top of that one lifter that's making that noise, that it's actually cleared out. Because if I remember right, those tubes are hollow, and if I'm thinking that one there looked like it was all plugged up. So, but I haven't looked at it for a while. But yeah, so if we can get that lined out and I don't have to buy a set of lifters and a cam for it, then I may be looking for a 4-barrel intake manifold, something. I don't want a new one. I can't afford a new one, but old Russell down there said I need to put a 4-barrel on there and some different things, and I'm definitely all for that. So, but I got to find one, and Ford parts, at least around here, are a little easier to find. Last year's project, the Krusty Chrysler, man, everything for that Chrysler was hard to find, and when I did find it, it was very expensive. So, Ford parts so far that I've had to deal with, they at least aren't too expensive. So anyway, so that's kind of the plan for that. What is that Road Beer Garage or whatever that guy is down there in Kentucky? He had some tires for sale, and I tried to get a hold of him and have been unsuccessful in that. So, but I do need to get some tires in there somewhere, some tires to put on that thing, because the tires I have are they're just not, they're pretty worn out, and they're dry rotted. And Jody Tadlock's in there. All right, hello. So anyway, yeah, so we're going to do that, and I got to get some tires for it. I found a couple of hubcaps on Marketplace, and the young man actually delivered them to the door one night about 9:30. So that was pretty cool. He said he watches the channel, That's another thing. I don't know how many people that watch. Well, I do know that I think it was 79%. I looked yet last night. 79% of everybody that follows the channel and watches it are not subscribed. And I was thinking, wow, if just a small fraction of those people that watch my content would subscribe, I'd already have my 1,000, because I think we're at, I don't know exactly where we're at right now, but I think that we are at 977. So, because I said a few videos back that I would probably go live when we got to 975, and and see if we can generate any subscribers. But that hasn't necessarily happened yet. So let's see. Yeah, so close is right. Jody said you're so close. I know. And yeah, I've really been trying hard, maybe the last year and a half, to try to build up the subscribers on this channel. But I've been on here for 13 years, and if you go way back, I mean, I've got a lot of videos that I have moved off the channel and moved to one of my other channels, just to try to keep the content on this one, more about cars. But I've been doing this for 13 years. But I never knew anything about how to do any of it until last year, when John and Dallas and Buzz had a couple of really good live events on how to build up your YouTube channel. And I watched those and tried to participate in that and do what they said. And it really did make a difference. All of a sudden, I started getting subscribers more regularly, however you say that, than before. So yeah, so it's it does work. So the shorts, I get actual subscribers. I can see how many subscribers I get from my shorts by looking at the analytics, and I can't really say I get more that way than I do with my regular videos. But overall, I mean, with each video, but overall, I feel like I get more subscribers with the shorts. And I think that that's what people really like. I know I'm different. I like to sit down and watch something on YouTube and see, like, let's just take an example here, like Bear Rose Garage. Okay, so I want this project he's working on right now with that old Chrysler or Dodge Dart or Swinger or whatever it is. I can't remember now, but I want to sit down and watch for 15 to 30 minutes about what he's doing and why he's doing it, and I kind of like to do that. I'm not saying that I don't take my phone here and look at the shorts and stuff like that, because I do, but I like to be able to sit down in my easy chair and look at my TV and watch something. Back 10 years ago, when I first started watching Vice Grip Garage, for example, I loved all the shenanigans and going out and getting an old car started and dragging it home and all that kind of stuff. Now he's kind of gotten away from that, and that's fine. He can do what he wants. So I don't watch his channel as much as I did, but I do watch others. There's that do that same type of thing, or get you interested in a project. And I was hoping to really do that with this LTD hashtag Lime La-Ti-Da that we're working on. And I think once it gets a little warmer out where I can, I'm sure there's going to be pretty consistent videos on that. And because we've got to get that thing rolling, I've talked about the engine, and we got to get that done, and we got to get some tires on it. And, I've got a lot of plans for it to, make it look better. Or in my book, it'll look better, I mean, how good is it going to ever look when Fred's in the back seat, But anyway, so yeah, we got a lot of work to do to it, but I was hoping to start doing more content on just that car. And so if you like the LTD, well, get out there and watch the videos, and be sure and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, why, be sure and subscribe. So yeah, so anyway, so we do have, I say so a lot, yeah. I'm not a public speaker. Now, I used to perform and sing in front of audiences and stuff. I like all that, but to get up and talk, man, I'm not really a public speaker. I might say something that might offend somebody, or and use the word "so" 100 times, or well. And so anyway, yeah, I just said them again. So I'm not much of a public speaker, but we got a lot of events coming up this summer that we're going to be taking that car to. So I've got to get it rolling. The first thing that we're going to be driving it on and to, and hopefully it makes the whole trip, is a Power Tour. So we'll be driving that on Power Tour this year. And I know there's a lot of people that I met on Power Tour last year that I hope to run into again. And so we'll see how that goes, depending on whether they go or not, I guess. But and I hope to meet some new people. And of course, we'll film what I call filming, or we'll video stuff along the way. And I'll probably do some shorts, and I'm going to try to do some live events at the hotel every night, that kind of thing. There was people that watched that last year, I know. So, but this year, the first run is quite a drive for me, because it starts in Atlanta, or south of Atlanta, down there at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, which I know where that's at. I drive by it when we go to Florida, but so that's where it starts. So, yeah, I'm going to be down there at the start of that thing, and then we're going to work our way all up through South Carolina, North Carolina, and then I think it ends up over in Bristol, Tennessee, anyway, at the Speedway. But so yeah, we're going to be doing that coming up. So there'll be plenty of footage of that, I hope. That's something else I've got to do, is get me a camera. I've talked with Dalton over at Pole Barn Garage about what kind of camera he uses, and a couple of other folks on YouTube, or that have channels. What are they using? And I'm currently I'm thinking about getting a GoPro 8, which is there's several of you that are using that, and it's more affordable for me. I think I would rather have a camera more like what Dalton has, for example, but I just don't have, the kind of funds to purchase one of those. So, but the cameras that I've got are getting they're just wore out. Well, one of them is an old cell phone, and it's getting to where the battery won't stay up in it. And then my camera, my 4K camera, that thing doesn't record in stereo. So I have to upload it onto my computer, run it through a Windows 11 program that's on here, I don't know, video editor or something, and I can turn it into, or at least I can make the audio come out on left and right speaker. And then I have to save it that way, and it's just a big pain. And then yesterday I was using that camera, and it showed it was on and recording, and when I got done, there was nothing on it. So yeah, so I just got to get a different camera. So you guys can let me know what kind of camera you guys use, or what you. Yeah, I know Jody just said that Kent from Drunken Mutt, or Tadlock's Tool Shed, he has a lot of trouble with his new camera. And yeah, I think he had that thing down here this weekend for the brew day, if you haven't seen the video yet, and he was having all kinds of trouble with it. And so yeah, I need something that's simple, where I can just plug it in and use and edit on it and all that. So anyway, that's my feeling about it. Let's see. So yeah. So anyway, Power tour, we're going to be doing some videoing on it. I don't know what we're going to be using the video with yet, but we got to get something better than that. I mean, when I started out, I was using this little thing, and I still use these. They work pretty good. They don't have any stabilization in them, but you can buy those little Kodak cameras on eBay for like $10. So, and I've got great big memory cards in them, so they last, or they seem to have a lot of a lot of room um, to store stuff on, or to store data. So sorry, I'm drinking my coffee. It's still early for me. So yeah, so we're going to do the power tour thing, and then after that, and in between that and the No Name Nationals in Sikeston, which is coming up in September. I think the weekend of the 23rd, something like that. I don't have the information in front of me, but I know we're going to be down there an extra day this year. So we're going down Wednesday night so that we can participate Thursday. Well, Thursday is going to be tech day and all that kind of stuff. And I think, I mean, tech for my car, they're either going to look at it and let me run it or they're not. I mean, it's not going to be anything crazy, that's for sure. But and I think then the cruise to Lambert's or whatever they're going to do this year, that is on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday is, and then Saturday is the awards thing, which last year we didn't stay for that. We are planning on staying for that this year. And so yeah, hopefully yeah, it's such a busy time down there. I feel like I didn't really get to talk with people like I wanted to. And so this year I'm going to try to do more of that. There's a lot of you that I wanted to talk to and didn't. It seemed like you would get talking to somebody else and then you'd see somebody. And so anyway, I'm hoping this year to actually get around. And I know there's a lot of new folks that'll be there with their channels because they're already getting their 500. So, and that's another thing to support all of those folks that want to come. If you'll just go to your search or your little search thing on your YouTube, you can just type in hashtag No Name National 500 or something like that, and you can get all of those folks and subscribe to their channels, and that helps them get their subscriptions. You can also go to John's site and or his YouTube channel, and he's got a whole section there that shows everybody that is in the contending to getting their 500 subscriptions. So you can do that as well. But yeah, so the No Name Nationals is coming up. That'll be fun. And people say it all the time, and I know that if you didn't go last year to the inaugural event, or if you haven't really watched everybody's footage from that event, which there's a lot of it out there. I'm still seeing stuff that I hadn't seen before, and and it's almost 7 months later, but if you haven't, if you haven't experienced it, you can't believe how much it was like. They always say it was like a family reunion, and it really is, or it really was, because like when we drove in over there, John was at the gate helping check people in, and he's like, the Krusty Chrysler, and there's Rick and all. I mean, it's just like, I had never met the guy before, and it was that way when we got inside. I mean, we kind of parked next to the folks we parked next to there. In fact, that's who I get my coffee from, Stephen Holtz, his family. And, it was just like hey, Ricky, pull in here. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. I've never, other than being in the military, and, we were very, the military families were very close for the most part, because you move around a lot, and so you don't really know anybody in your communities. And so other than experiencing that, um, that's the only time in life that that's happened again. I mean, it's just like really, really interesting. I can't wait to go again this year. So, um, but anyway, so yeah, No Name Nationals, that's in September. In between times, in between the Hot Rod Power Tour and the No Name Nationals, we're going to continue to make some road trips, and I'm wanting to get out. I have to go out to. I need to get out to Kansas City and see relatives. So I know there are a couple of YouTubers that are out in that area that I may try to check in with when I'm there. And I know I need to. I've got a trip scheduled attentively to go down into Kentucky and over into Illinois. And then I know Junk Car Willie and I talked this winter about getting together this spring. I have not gotten back with him, but I would love to hang out with him a day. And even if I got to drive over to where he's at and just run around with him a day, I mean, he finds some really cool stuff to record. It seems like around here, there's not a lot of old cars and stuff like that. It's like they've all just been cleaned up and probably crushed or something. But anyway, so we'll see. But I got some stuff like that coming up this summer. We're going to take some road trips like that. And we're also going to take some actual vacation, little mini vacations. The wife and I are going to take the convertible on some trips. So you'll probably come along for some of that. I know that we're going to Texas at some point to see her family or some of her family. And we're actually going to be going real close by Russell and them down there at Outfits Garage. So I'm hoping to be able to slip past them, and visit with them a few minutes and not bother them too much, but just enough to visit. So I hope to do that. And so I don't know. That's just kind of what I've got. I still am working part time, so I have to kind of work all this around my work. I'm actually doing my classes right now so that I can get my license renewed for one more 2-year period. So I would say, this October I'll renew my license, and it'll be good for 2 years. And then after that, I don't know. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm hoping that maybe YouTube takes off, and I don't know. If it doesn't, I'm still fine. We're going to be fine financially. The Lord does take care of you, that's for sure, and I believe that. But I was hoping to, I'm not going to be doing inspections anymore. I'm going to quit doing that. It's getting harder for me to crawl around in an attic or in a crawl space, or just, it's just, I'm just getting, you can tell that when you get to a certain age, you can kind of tell that you just can't do what you used to do. Sitting here looking at myself on the screen, I'm thinking, who is that old man? Because I don't really feel that old, but boy, I look it. And yes, I did change coffee cups. This is my Dave Ramsey coffee cup. So if you haven't ever heard of Dave Ramsey, I would encourage you to check that out. His whole way of his whole philosophy certainly changed Kelly and I's life. It took me 40 years to realize that I can't spend more than I make. So he's been a real blessing in our lives, or his program has, I'll say that. We visited his new building and everything, and down in it's south of Nashville, Tennessee, there off the interstate. I don't know. It's maybe the next exit after Brentwood or something. I don't know exactly where it's at. I've been there. And I know that when we drove to Florida this fall, we did the little video about Buc-ee's. If you probably saw that. Well, that was on that trip. We drove by it. I know that. So it must be on Interstate 65 or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I digress. So yeah, another thing I would like to do with that car when I get it running, I'm going to get it out here, and we're going to see if we got positive track in it or not. And we'll be sure and film that. I doubt very seriously that it does. I'm sure it's a one-wheel peel, but I figured we were probably going to light that thing up in the driveway out here. So yeah, so we'll try that. And I know that I have been watching the analytics a lot on the channel, and I know I mentioned a while ago that 70-some% of you that watched aren't you're not subscribed. But I do see the watch hours have went way up. I mean, last month, which everybody says February is a slow month for YouTube, but last month, or in the last 28 days, I think that's what I was looking at. In the last 28 days, we're up to we have enough hours viewed that if we had subscribers, that would, you have to have the 1,000, and then you have to have what, 400,000 hours or some kind of crazy number. And we had met that, but we didn't have the subscribers. And I was like, well, that's the first time that's ever happened. So that's a milestone, I guess. So if we can get some subscribers and we can keep putting out content, and I've had some comments about, I don't know, I'm not really a comedian, but I like things that are funny. And sometimes things to me are funny that aren't funny to other people. And I had somebody that commented kind of negatively, which, hey, I welcome all comments. That's fine. But, they were like, well, you're sure trying to force that. That's not even funny, this and that. And I'm like, well, I didn't say it necessarily was funny. It's just the way things are. So anyway, yeah. So hopefully, that I'm just talking and acting like I am in life and in my job and stuff like that. I may not act quite like that because you don't want to offend somebody, first of all. And, but when it's just me out here on my car and you guys watching, you're liable to see or hear anything. Now I do cut some stuff out, and I've been tagged a couple of times from YouTube about saying things and talking about things you're really not supposed to on YouTube. So I do try to watch that. But pretty much it's just me out here acting like me. So we are all unique. Nobody's the same. And I think that's one of the things that our world is struggling with right now. So anyway, still nobody is actually watching. So yep, I just got a notification on my phone that says it's time to plant beets and spinach. So be watching for that video on RC Gardens, because that'll be coming out. And oh yeah, so I wanted to address the video that a couple of videos. I don't know if they were all out yet. They may be scheduled to run, but we've got what the people in our little neighborhood here consider kind of an issue at this four-way stop that's out by our driveway. And well, it's actually by 4 other people's driveways as well, but I'm the one that has a camera apparently. So anyway, we had a little impromptu meeting this past weekend, and so I've been recording. So you're going to see some of that on my channel. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. It's more there to get the point across to our local officials about the abuse down here at the stop sign. And there's been some really close calls. The neighbors next door to us have a 2-year-old, and they're just really, they never let her play obviously out in the yard without them, but you know how kids are. I mean, they can take off after something before you know it. It's like a dog. And I know our little Tallulah dog got loose out here one day and ran out to the street, and she almost got hit because someone ran the stop sign, and I was running behind her, which doesn't help that she thought I was playing then. So, but yeah, so you're going to see some videos like that. So, you know, it's not really, you know, I can't make them private because the goal is for certain people to see them. So anyway, if you see that on there and you don't want to watch it, that's fine. They've been getting quite a bit of views on their own, and I think it's the appropriate people have been watching them. So if you see that, that's what that's about. That's only I was only tasked, or I only volunteered or agreed to do that this week. So you'll probably see like 5 of those videos, and that's what that's about. And hopefully, you know, none of us are perfect. This is not a perfect world. You know, we're born, you know, into this. So, however, I think you could try to abide by the rules a little better. It does make it better for everyone else. But anyway, that's my little 2 cents worth there. So, yeah. So there's a lot of if you guys aren't watching. If you're not hashtagging No Name Nationals and watching all these folks that are getting their cars and stuff ready for this big event, it is so cool. I can't even remember half of the channels that I'm watching, but there's some really, really cool stuff going on. And you know, it's funny. Last year, I would say that Mopars probably reigned the dominant. I mean, as far as amount of vehicles. But this year, it looks like, you know, there's going to be more than, you know, more than just Chrysler products. There's going to be a lot of Chevrolets and Fords. I think there's going to be a bunch of Ford stuff this year, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah. So get out there and check all those folks out, because there's a lot of good content out there. A lot of I would say a lot, but maybe most of everybody out there is just kind of, you know, amateurs like me that are putting their stuff out on the, you know, on the YouTube's waves or whatever, and you know, hoping for the best, and that's fine. But there's some really good, you know, there's some really good stuff out there. Yeah, one guy is right in the middle of remodeling his house, so he's showing that some, and you know, there's just all kinds of stuff going on, and some really unique cars too. I do tend to like personally the old anything 70s, about 68 to 78 Ford stuff and Mercury. That's probably my favorite. But I got to tell you, the Chrysler stuff is really cool too. And I was looking for another Chrysler project for this year, but the only thing that kept me from that was the cost of the projects. I was working on trying to get a Fury. I think it was a 73 or 74 Fury. And I wanted something with a title. I didn't want something I had to fool around with, and you know, so I was working on trying to get that, but it cost me. It was going to cost me twice as much for a vehicle with more miles on it than this Ford LTD. I got this thing, you know, for like $1,000, and the kid that I bought it from was really nice about, you know, I mean, he was asking more for that, and I just kind of told him, well, you know, there's this and this, and there's a lot of unknowns I don't know. And so yeah, he sold it to me, and but I got that for like half the price, and I know the parts are way cheaper so far that I've had to buy for it, which has not been much. I mean, the power steering, you know, had we not been in the society we're in currently, I could have gotten a remanufactured power steering pump. or could have even gotten some parts and took it apart and we could have fixed it ourselves. But every place you went to, as soon as they typed in and, remanufactured, and oh yeah, we got it. And then they say, oh, not available. Rock Auto, not available, so I was like, well, I'm going to have to buy a new one. So that's what I did. And I spent about $10 more buying it at O'Reilly's brand new than I did from one of the, online places. But I kind of figured that if I did have a problem with it, that, my O'Reilly's is only about 5 blocks from here. So I figured it would be easier for me to take it back, over there to the O'Reilly's. So, well, it looks like this thing is saying we still don't have anybody watching, but we've got some people that are jumping in once in a while and commenting over there. So that's good. Yeah, I know that this is probably not the best time of day to do a live, but there's so many lives in the evenings, and I don't want to take away from those folks. And so I just figured, hey, I'm going to try a Wednesday morning. I know the last live we did was on a Friday morning, and we actually had several people come in on that one. But Wednesday, maybe not such a good time. I don't know. But this is evening some parts of the world, so maybe someone is watching somewhere. But hey, Hot Rod Garage. Hey, yep. Hello. So yeah, so we're just kind of I am just kind of on here talking about nothing really, just kind of telling everybody what's up with the LTD and what's been going on, and we talked about the weather and my other channels, and yeah, so yeah. So anyway, not much on a live. I don't never know what to say when I'm sitting here. So, but yeah, we were talking about the LTD. So I know I need some tires, and I'm going to try to find some used ones if I can. If not, I'll buy new. I was pleasantly surprised yesterday when I went to Rural King and the battery for my lawn tractor was as cheap as it was. I was really surprised that that turned out like it did. So, okay, so Jody looks like she's taken out. She's got to go to a meeting. I'm sure she's at work. So Gunner's walking through here. So, don't know a whole lot more. If you guys have any questions, you can jump right in there. And so I do know that I've got a video that's going to be coming up on the convertible. I did a video on that convertible last fall, diagnosing the problem with the top, and we temporarily fixed it by putting some fluid in it, but it's got a leak, and so the parts are in for that. So I've got to do a video on that. So that's going to be coming up soon. But pretty much everything's going to be working on this old LTD, the old Lime La-Ti-Da. So I am collecting road maps. So if anybody's got any old road maps, don't throw them away. Let me know, and I'll figure out some way to get them from you, or I'll even pay you for them if I need to. But we're going to be using those on that LTD. So we've got to be sure. And I've got a few stacked up in here that I've been finding, but I'm going to need a lot more than that. So, yeah. Now Gunner's in here drinking. That's probably what you hear over there. So, I wanted to try to stay on here for about a whole hour. So we got about 10 minutes yet. Looks like. So, there is. Oh, I know what we were talking about. We all of the all the projects that are going on. If you do a hashtag No Name Nationals, you're going to see a lot of cool stuff. And I just ran across somebody yesterday that I hadn't seen, and so I subscribed to him. So there's always new contenders in this No Name 500. So he's got like a 67 Fury 2 or Fury 3, 383, something or other in it. I don't really remember now. Ain't that awful? I just watched his videos, but but it's a cool looking two-door Fury. So definitely, I love those old Mopars, you know. But again, the reason we went with the Ford this year was the cost, and you know, so if there's anybody out there that does have, like I said, I think I might have mentioned it earlier in the video, but I am looking for a used 4-barrel intake manifold that'll work on that 351 modified. As old Russell down there from Outfits Garage, he's building that, you know, that big block in that little Chevy. You know, I got to have something that'll do a little better than the little 2-barrel. I think that car, the stock, I think it was 123 horsepower. I don't know. I forget. It's a real low amount. I can't even see how it hardly moves it around, but so yeah, my coffee's getting cold, so it must be getting close. Yeah, looks like we got about 9 more minutes. I'm going to stay on here for a full hour, so I'm going to try to start doing one of these once a week. I'm not sure if we're going to continue to do Wednesday mornings because this may not be a good time for a lot of folks, but we are going to start doing more lives. I think it's important, and I need to brush up on communication skills, and so yeah, we're going to start doing some more. We talked about the almanac. We talked about RC Gardens. Don't forget about our DuBois County Flips channel. I've got a project coming up that I may be filming some of and putting it on that channel because that's all home repairs and renovations and that kind of thing. I don't do much of that anymore at all. As a lot of you know, we used to have a lot of rental property and we flipped houses. That's what I did for a living. And I'm also a state licensed home inspector. Pretty much that's the only thing I'm doing now is the home inspection. But I still do a few things. I have a few clients that I still do some work for. So, what else? Oh, AHRA. I did not join AHRA last year, but I did join this year because it took me some time to actually research and find out about the organization, and I really think it's a great organization. Where is I've got a sticker here someplace. Yeah, right here. Yeah, so I'm a member of that now, and I'm happy about that. Here's another channel I like to watch. If you haven't watched Scott up there with that one, then you need to probably do that. Let's see what else we got on here. Oh yeah, this is one Tadlock's Tool Shed give me. I'm going to be sure and put that on my LTD. And then we got Pole Barn Garage, Mopar Joe. Let's see. Yeah, and this one, Roadkill, Big Mike's Hoopty Barn. Just Drive It. Yeah. And so we are going to be putting all those stickers on the car. Oh yeah, Levi's Backyard Performance. There you go. He's got a pretty good little channel there. I actually visited him not too long ago in his shop and met his dad, and nice little family racing thing. His grandpa used to race and different stuff like that. So yeah. We have got several stickers out in the shop. And if you want a sticker, if you'll just get a hold of me somehow, like email me, or I don't know, just get a hold of me. I'll get you a sticker. That's not a problem. We've got plenty of them, and I give them out. Um, I think last year at the No Name Nationals, we tried to sell stickers and T-shirts, and once I got there and realized that that's not really what this is. This is more like just. So I started giving, So now instead of trying to sell them, I'm just gonna, if you want a sticker, I just like to trade you a sticker. Actually, if you've got one of your channel and everything, then just get a hold of me and we'll see if we can swap stickers or something. But anyway, and we do have some T-shirts and stuff. I've got one on right now, I think. So I've got I wear these. I like these shirts like this. I wear them all the time. So yeah. Well, don't know a lot more to talk about. Looks like the temperature is starting to come up outside a little bit, so that's good. Maybe we can actually get out and work on the LTD today. So, because we got a lot of work to do, as I said before, and so be sure and as far as No Name National stuff, there's 3 or 4 things that I would check, or I would go and check. One of them is John Wilburn's site or his channel. Go to that, and he's got a whole section there of the contenders that are in the No Name 500. So you definitely want to check those folks out and subscribe to their channels so they can get their subscriptions to go. Buck does it. Buck has a great show, and it's usually Saturday nights, I think. I haven't watched it the last few times because we've been basketball season, has just ended, and our team actually got into 2 of the playoff games. So, but now they're out. But so I've got more time now, and I'll be able to get caught up on the lives on Fridays and Saturday nights. But check out Buck Does It, and because he does a channel review of all these folks that are trying to get their 500 subscriptions. So be sure and check that out. We started talking about the AHRA. I think it's a great organization. I joined this year. We got actually by joining, we get so much % off of, I think competition cams. No, that ain't right, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. But anyway, there are perks to it. So be sure and give that a think or two to see if you want to join that. What you doing, Gunner?